What's up everybody, Carter here. Welcome back to another video. And we have a good one. It's my AEW Dynamite Grand Slam review. What a fantastic show this was. And we still are only getting started with AEW this week. We have a 2-hour special of Rampage continuing on from Arthur Ashe where Dynamite was. The crowd was hot. It was a great show. I can't wait for Rampage now especially. But let's get in and review Dynamite. Before I do, I just want to quickly say I know in my predictions I said I was going to try to get my ECW Universe mode out yesterday, but it just took too long to render, so that will be coming out later today as well at the same time I normally release that on a Thursday anyway, but I was moving forward because I had this review planned anyway. But yeah, double upload today. So if you are new around here and you are interested in watching some ECW Universe mode in WWE 2K19, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, but also leave a like, comment on this video. And now let's not waste any more time. Let's get into Rampage and Dynamite, and let's start it off hot because that is what AEW did. Opening up the show, the very first match, the very first thing on the card, Brian Danielson versus Kenny Omega, a main event matchup anywhere in the world. And they decided to open up the show, and the more I think about it, the more I think this was the right call. At first I was like, wow, starting off with this, it's going to be hard to top it. But I do think this was the right call. Fantastic matchup as you'd expect, an all-time classic. And the reason I do think it was worth starting the show off is, one, you have Rampage, which normally tapes after Dynamite, so you'd be going from that into Rampage. So at least having to start off the show, you kind of allowed the crowd to kind of take a breather, so they wouldn't be worn out for Rampage after like a 2-hour show already. And another factor is the finish. The finish was a time limit draw, so again, not wanting to main event with a time limit draw. And plus 3, then you get a title match to main event at the women's title. Well, unbelievable matchup as you'd expect between Kenny and Brian. Two of the best in the world, without a doubt. Brian just getting dropped with snapdragons by Kenny. Kenny hitting nasty looking V-trigger, he hit a snapdragon on the stage, and Brian was like leaning up against the ropes because they had a big long ramp. Beautiful looking V-trigger that almost took Brian's head off. Brian reversed a one-winged angel with Poison Rana, a lot of kicks and stomping Kenny's head in, and then eventually they go to the time limit and both men brawl. Brian, I believe, eventually Brian actually locked in cattle mutilation during the match, which I marked out for. But yeah, after the match they were still fighting. The Elite kind of run in to make the save for Kenny. Brian had him locked in the lapel lock. Now came Jurassic Express and the Christian to fight off the Super Click. So kind of building to that match on Rampage. CM Punk, then how do you follow that? With a CM Punk promo, which I really enjoyed. It sounded like Punk was loving it. He even mentioned how do you top that. Punk cut a very good promo. I did really like this promo from Punk. You can, for me anyway, you could tell just after following that Brian match, kind of his run in AEW, you can just, from that promo I got, he has his passion back. He loves wrestling again. So yeah, and I'm excited to see the match against him and Powerhouse Hobbs on Friday at Rampage. He had a good line to end it where he's basically saying that it's not that he's gonna like tuck in. It's his job to like tuck in Hobbs and put him to sleep. Something along those lines. I can't remember exactly word for word, but yeah, a really enjoyable promo from Punk. MJF versus Brian Pilman Jr. Again, another very solid match. I feel like this was one of those kind of star-making performances by Pillman. You know, he had 20,000 people in Arthur Ashe Stadium on their feet chanting for Pillman Jr. And yeah, you know, Pillman Jr., he's a great wrestler, and I just feel like that is one of those moments where I was looking at Pillman, and personally I was like, even in defeat, this guy, he's going to be a big star for AEW in the future. And of course, with a name like Brian Pilman Jr., the name Pilman, he's going to be a star anyway. But he showed last night, that he had the ability to back it up, the name. And yeah, MJF though, eventually getting the win in that one. Then Jericho and Hager just basically cut a backstage promo talking about Dan Lambert and the Men of the Year stuff. Malachi Black vs Cody Rhodes up next. Of course, Brandy returning with Cody. Again, a very solid matchup. I did enjoy this matchup. I really liked the finish. Aaron getting knocked off the apron by Cody, even though he slipped a bit earlier. And eventually the ref was distracted with Aaron. Malachi missed roll up 1, 2, 3, and I love when missed is used in wrestling, so I loved it. And yeah, Malachi Black defeats Cody Rhodes. Cody came off a bit heelish, just by his reactions and some of the stuff he's done. So maybe they are kind of leaning into a full-on Cody Rhodes heel turn, which I would be interested in. So yeah, you had Brandy kind of getting involved. You had kind of Aaron getting up on the apron and stuff. So yeah, very interested to see if that they do lean into a heel Cody and where they go with that. And Malachi got 2 wins on Cody now. And so it's kind of interesting to see, do they continue this feud on, or do they move Malachi onto something else? And if so, what is that? But yeah, I really enjoyed this match, and I marked out because I love Mist in wrestling. Then kind of a little hype video for Miro versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship, which will take place next week. Then we had Sting and Darby Allin team up against FTR, and I gotta say, Sting looked very good in this matchup. FTR had NWO tribute gear, and so Sting was like, let's take it back to 97. But yeah, Sting looked very good in this match. Darby was getting thrown around the place. FTR, fantastic tag team, great work as well as a team. I don't know why, but there's just one spot that really stood out to me, and it shows how well FTR work as a team. They were kind of cornered, circling Sting. I believe it was Dax in the I think it was Cash in the ring. Dax kind of just reaches in under the middle rope and grabs Sting back into the corner, to kind of distract and pull him back, grab him by the shirt. Just small little details like that are why FTR are such a good team, in my opinion. Tully and finish the match comes when Tully goes to Dax, or I believe it was Dax in the corner. Tully puts a chair behind him. They're trying to bait Sting in, so he hits the chair off the Scorpion or the Stinger Splash. Sting is able to stop himself. Dax comes in, bumps into the chair. I believe the ref was distracted with Darby and Cash in the corner, or something like that. So Sting then locks in the Scorpion Deathlock. Cash is trying to grab him, pull him towards the rope. Darby hits a coffin drop onto him on the apron, which looked like he nearly landed on his Cash's head. And FTR tap, and Sting and Darby win in a very fun tag team match. I really enjoyed this match. I enjoyed everything on the card so far. Then it was main event time. Ruby Soho facing Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the Women's Championship. And I gotta say, I was expecting Ruby to win this one. I'm a big fan of Britt Baker. I love Britt Baker. I love her title reign. I've been really enjoying everything she's done. But, main event and a big stadium show, it just felt like Ruby coming in, a lot of momentum behind her. I was like, they're going to switch the belt here. But they didn't. Britt retains and is still the women's champion. I believe she won with the lockjaw. But yeah, very good match. Interesting to see what's next for Britt. As I was saying, she's kind of beaten a lot of people on the roster already during her reign. That's why I was kind of expecting Ruby to win it. And if not Ruby, I wasn't sure who. But, they kind of left it open. Rebel and Jamie Hayter were getting involved. So maybe they can play that into a rematch. You can also always go back to Thunder Rosa, because Thunder Rosa did actually win the unsanctioned match. So she can come out and say she has a win over Britt Baker. So yeah, very interested to see what is next for Bray. As I said, with the interference, maybe they run this back. But even if they do run it back, I'm not sure they switch the title, because if you are going to switch the title and onto Ruby, why not just do it there? It would have made more sense than having her lose. So yeah, I'm interested to see what is next for Bray and who eventually does take the belt. Like I said, Thunder Rosa is the obvious answer to that, but we have to wait and see what AEW have planned. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed the show. It lived up to all my expectations. Really, 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 really loved that opening matchup between Kenny and Brian. It's definitely a match that is worthy of rewatching it millions of times. Excited for Rampage. The crowd were hot. The setup in the arena looks great. And yeah, very excited for the Stacked Rampage. You probably do a predictions for that tomorrow. So again, stay tuned for that. And that is it for this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.